History is filled with violence, but some punishments go far beyond execution. They weren't designed just to kill. They were designed to break the body, prolong suffering, and terrify anyone who witnessed them. Among all the methods humanity has invented, one stands out as uniquely horrifying. A punishment so slow, so calculated, and so inescapable that even ancient historians described it with disgust. This is the story of scaphism, widely considered the most brutal punishment ever recorded. Scaphism, also known as the boats, was an execution method used in ancient Persia. Unlike beheading or hanging, scaphism relied on nature itself as the weapon. The victim wasn't stabbed or burned. Instead, they were condemned to be eaten alive, slowly. Every step of the punishment was designed to keep the victim conscious for as long as possible. Death was not the goal. Suffering was. The condemned person was stripped naked and forced to lie between two hollowed wooden boats or logs. The boats were bound together, leaving the head, hands, and feet exposed. The body was trapped, immobilized, and completely helpless. There was no movement, no defense, no mercy. The victim was then floated on stagnant water, or left near marshland, where insects thrived. What made scaphism truly sadistic was what came next. The executioners forced the victim to drink milk and honey. The mixture caused severe diarrhea, while the excess honey coated the skin. This combination attracted flies, mosquitoes, and other insects in massive numbers. As the victim lay trapped, insects began feeding, not just on waste and exposed skin but on open wounds, eyes, and flesh. Insects laid eggs inside the victim's body. Maggots hatched and burrowed into flesh. Rats and scavengers followed. The stagnant water bred disease. Infections spread rapidly. Yet the victim didn't die quickly. Ancient sources describe victims surviving days or even weeks, fully conscious as their bodies decomposed while they were still alive. The pain was constant. The smell unbearable. The mind slowly shattered. Scaphism wasn't used for ordinary criminals. It was reserved for traitors, enemies of the state, or those who challenged royal authority. The purpose wasn't justice, it was deterrence. Executions were often public. The sight alone was meant to terrify entire populations into obedience. Power in the ancient world was maintained through fear, and scaphism was fear perfected. Greek historian Plutarch documented scaphism in chilling detail. He described how victims screamed until their voices failed, how insects covered their faces so completely they were no longer recognizable. Even in a brutal ancient world, this punishment stood out as excessive. It wasn't just cruel, it was intentionally inhuman. Beyond physical agony, scaphism destroyed the mind. Victims were conscious, aware, and abandoned. There was no countdown, no final blow. Only endless suffering with no clear end. This uncertainty, the waiting, the exposure, the humiliation, was as devastating as the physical pain. Modern psychologists would classify this as extreme sensory and psychological torture. History contains other horrific punishments: impalement, crucifixion, lynching, and brazen bulls, but scaphism remains uniquely terrifying because of its duration and intimacy. Death came not from a weapon but from decay. The executioners didn't kill the victim. They simply created the conditions and let nature finish the job. Eventually, death arrived, usually from infection, dehydration, or organ failure. By then, the victim's body was unrecognizable. What remained was a warning, a message carved into memory. This is what happens when you defy power. The punishment didn't end with death. It lived on in fear. Scaphism forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Cruelty is not accidental. It is often deliberate, engineered, and justified by authority. While modern society condemns such acts, history reminds us how easily humanity can rationalize unimaginable suffering. Remembering punishments like scaphism isn't about shock, it's about vigilance. The most brutal punishment in history wasn't the fastest or bloodiest. It was the one that turned time itself into a weapon. Scaphism stands as a reminder of how far cruelty can go when empathy is stripped away. And it leaves us with one haunting question: what future horrors remain possible if fear ever outweighs humanity again? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to our channel and get 1000 years of good luck.